not really sure how to feel about it.
Yeah, well, it looks like we're going to be seeing the Armor Titan one more time, or again, or again, or again. Attack on Titan chapter 83. This chapter kind of slowed down a little bit from the action that we were seeing and kind of just showed the aftermath of everything that had just occurred. So we start off seeing basically Zeke with his, four-legged Titan burst through a wall and look at Eren. And he goes up to Eren and he's like, yo, first of all, he's trying to save Berthmalt, which is understandable, but he sees that Berthmalt is basically arms cut off. Eren has his sword right there, ready to cut off his neck and kill him. And Zeke just realizes that it's a lost cause and there's no way he can save him. But something interesting happens here. Zeke looks Eren in the eye and says, "Oh, are you Grisha's kid? Are you Eren?" And he remarks that he doesn't look like his father, and that implies he knows his father, which isn't a shock because we know Grisha had something to do with these shifters back in the day. Like you just know that he knows about all this and he deals with all of them. What's interesting though is that Zeke says straight to Eren's face is that like I will save you. Grisha didn't understand stuff of that nature, and that shows that maybe, of course, there's more to know about what Zeke's mission is, but that shows that he disagreed with Grisha's nature and that there's probably something even more evil or something going on possibly, which is really interesting and of course just leaves more questions to be answered. Another theory I've been thinking about is that possibly Zeke might be somewhat related to Eren. But the way he's remarking how he doesn't look like his dad, how Eren doesn't look like Grisha, um, possibly Zeke's Grisha's brother. Possibly that's Eren's uncle. Who knows? After Zeke escapes and just kind of runs over to where Raynor is, the Armor Titan, that's where the worst part of this chapter comes in. Looks like, again, we're going to have Raynor saved. As Zeke on his Titan, him all armless and legless, he just runs. The Titan grabs Raynor as John pulls out Hanji and like throws him out of the way. It's like, oh no, what'd I do? And of course, they're so beaten up, they're so tired, and they have no gas left and anything that they're not even going to bother trying to fight him. But of course, after they were talking to Raynor, like, Raynor, give us information, and Raynor's just like, no, and then it's just like, he's gonna come back in. The only thing I'm hoping for, the fact that why Raynor keeps on surviving all these and is never gonna die, is I'm hoping somewhere in the plot he's gonna be useful, more than just a villain. That at some point he's gonna be turned into a hero or something, or at least he's gonna help out Eren and all his friends. Because right now, if they just keep on bringing him back as an enemy, he's been beaten twice. One by Eren, one by Mikasa and the crew and stuff, and he doesn't seem as big of a threat anymore. It's just a nuisance, and it's just a repetitive battle. Let's stop with him. An interesting thing he did, though, was or John and everyone asked him, what is this, like, letter thing? And Raynor said, this is a letter from Ymir. That's all he said. He wouldn't give any more information, which is interesting. So now we have another letter, and we know next chapter we're going to probably look into that letter and have a little more analysis of what that is. Going into the next scene, we have Levi standing on top of the wall. Looks like he's burning, but it's just all this blood. He's blood-soaked, and just steam coming off him. And then you just see like a backdrop of all the Titans he just completely murdered. Because if you remember from last chapter, or chapter before, basically Levi was, when Zeke left and after he beat the Beast Titan, Zeke ran away, he had all these Titans just come and attack Levi, and Levi is just standing still in a field, no buildings or walls around him, and yeah, of course, typical Levi just demolished everyone, and that's where he comes in, drops down, sees Eren, and starts talking to him, and this is where probably the most significant part of the chapter comes in. We have the information that Levi said, hey, that's confirmed. Like, Levi has the serum, and the plan has always been, if we see someone dying and we need to give someone the serum has two potential opportunities. The biggest thing we want to get out of the serum is have somebody turn into a Titan, either Raynor or Berthmalt, or even the Beast Titan, and get their powers. But in addition, that will save a soldier who's basically dying, and that pretty much describes Armin's situation right there. As we see, Armin is actually alive, burnt to a crisp, but he's still alive. And Eren's flipping out and is like, "Oh my, he's still alive. We have to, let's give him the serum." And he says, "Levi, come on, give me the serum." And we know Levi realistically would probably be the best potential one to take it because of just how skilled he is in combat and just smarts and everything. But he's, in his broken up state, he's just like, okay. He's like, give Armin the serum, just give it to him, let him survive, and have Berthmalt that's standing right there, defenseless, have him be eaten and take his powers. Um, but then what happens after that? Because after Zeke leaves and everything, and Levi, Levi wants to go after him and destroy him, but he sees there's a bigger issue right now, and then Zeke's just kind of like running away. Levi just leaves it, lets it go. It's like Aaron, like, because he wanted originally Aaron's gas to go and finish off Zeke, because he can to finish him off. But of course, we need a villain for later, so we left him. But then one of the soldiers who actually survived the battle against Beast Titan when when the rocks are all getting thrown at them, comes up out of nowhere and is like, "Oh, I finally found you guys." And it's kind of little like, okay, but he comes up and he has Erwin on his back, and he's like, "Yeah, Erwin, basically all his internal organs are falling out and stuff, but he's still technically alive." And but he's on his last limb, and he's about to die. So this this is where the Civil War comes up, and what a lot of people have been calling it, where now we have Erwin, the leader, Levi's best friend, who's lying there, basically about to die, and we have Armin, Aaron's best friend and potential, both great soldiers, with arguably Erwin being the more, well, not even arguably, but Aaron probably being the most important one because he's the leader. Even though Armin's smarts and everything, Erwin's probably the one who would be first to get the serum, especially considering he's dying. So then, after Levi had already said, "Yeah, we'll give Armin the serum," he's like, "No, I'm giving Aaron the serum." And this is where Aaron just walks up to Levi, and you see, and it's significant because you see, even though Levi is this like huge badass, you always forget he's a short guy. So Aaron just kind of towers over him and is just like, "What? Like, no, you said you'd give it to Armin." And you see how passionate Aaron is about this. He's like, "My best friend just died. You're gonna give him the serum that you told him." Then we don't see more. I wish we saw more in this chapter in terms of like what the final decision was. But the chapter just kind of like ends there, where it's like, now who's gonna get the serum, and the chapter distinctly put a image of both of the Armin and Aaron side by side, just which is gonna get serum. Now, my personal theory, thinking into the next chapter and everything, and what I think I've seen a lot of people saying in comments and forums and stuff, is that actually Erwin is gonna somehow wake up for like 4 seconds and be like, "No, Levi, it's okay. Give Armin the serum. He's the one who he deserves it. I'm already on my last limb." Blah blah blah. And yeah, and that's I'm almost certain that's how it's gonna go down because Armin, I don't think he's gonna die, and I think Erwin had his final goodbyes and everything. And I think it's just time for, yeah, it just seems like the realistically what's going to happen is Armin's going to get the serum, he's going to come up, and he's going to survive. Erwin had a final goodbye. He did his duty, and he was a great leader, but I just don't think he's, in terms of how big of a character he is for the main characters and everything, I just don't think Erwin's going to make it. I think the writer is going to basically have Armin survive and become potentially the new Colossal Titan, which is weird to think about, but I guess that's how it's going to go down. The potential people they brought up for the serum were Sasha, because she's obviously down and out, but she's just not important enough of a character. Mikasa, because of just, her skill and everything, but of course she's not going to let her friend die. And she was even there kind of stepping in as Aaron and Levi were kind of, or not, Aaron and Levi were kind of like very tense. Um, and of course, Levi's not going to take it anymore because he sees that either Erwin or Armin could take it and they need it more because they're going to die. I'm glad Levi's not taking it because if we lose Levi, that's pretty much it for like quality like maneuver gear fighting. Because the only other decent one or either good one is honestly going to be Mikasa. And the other ones are usually just everyone else with their 3 maneuver gears, while good and can kill normal titans, can never like they can never fight like a shift or anything like that. With that being said, chapter was good. It was slower than the other chapters, but now we have a huge conflict. And while I wish I saw a little bit more of the outcome of all this, at least we have a lot of things to think about. And we know the next chapter is probably going to be a slower one, kind of like who's deciding to do this, not going straight after Zeke. They're going to go probably to the basement next. And a lot of people are saying, yeah, there's probably another serum in the basement, which is true, but it's not enough time for Erwin and Armin to both survive till they get to that basement to potentially get a serum that might not actually be there. So a lot of realizations that we're going to get in the next couple of chapters. Most of the villains survived here, which is still frustrating because now we got, even after all this and after we demolished the Beast Titan, demolished the Armor Titan, all we got to actually get killed is potentially Colossal Titan. With that being said, great chapter. Looking forward to next month. And let me know what you thought if you read it. And what do you think is going to happen in the next couple chapters? Who do you think is going to survive? Do you think they're going to choose Armin, or are you going to think they're going to choose Erwin? Big decisions to come. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked anything I have to say here, like, comment, subscribe. A lot more Attack on Titan videos come, monthly chapters, countdowns, and more things. So thanks again, and see you next time.